In this short video, we're going to talk about how you can predict future stock prices using financial statement information. So we have two different workbooks that we'll be using with this particular technique. So we'll need the financial statements of a company. Primarily, we need the income statement, we need the balance sheet, and of course, we need some ratios. So we have that data in one of our workbooks. The other workbook that we'll need is for us, it's called the Stock Valuation Workbook. And there is a link, a tab in here called Price Forecasting. And if you look at price forecasting, if you look here, you see the yellow boxes, as usual, is where you enter the data. So from our worksheet, we're going to gather this information. And what it will do is calculate some averages, and then we'll input the averages down below. Now, the nice thing about doing these techniques is just because it's an average doesn't mean we have to use that number. If we know something is happening or is going to happen, then we can maybe make the change. If there's a number on here that's a little strange or odd, maybe it's just a fluke that year that it's a weird number, or maybe it's just missing, right? We don't have that year's data. We can still find some averages. So again, you input the data up here, and then down below here, we're going to enter what we expect or what we think is going to happen next year. Now, we could just as easily put, for instance, the net sales. Maybe we just want to put net sales here, put that number down here. It really doesn't matter what you do. It's a forecast. So let's think about how we might do that from the financial statement. So if we go back to our financial statement, if we go back to the other worksheet, here we have obviously our information about sales, dividends, etc. Over here, under the ratios, we have net profit margin, we have total asset turnover. Down below here, you have the PE ratios. Everything is calculated for us. The only thing that's a little bit strange, not strange, it's just another place that we have to look, is we need to have some information about sales growth. Now, we can use historical information, as we said, or we can look to some kind of a published sales prediction forecast. But if you look at these ratios, if you go to we have a set of a financial statement that shows the percent change in income. Here are the 4 years that we have of this. Of course, we have 5 years of data, but to get a year, you need to eat up a year, right? So there's two numbers. So we don't have the first number, but here's the average. So the average is about 7.99% is what they're saying that average is. So again, here we have our numbers. Just copy and paste. Now, when you paste here, make sure that you look for something that fits in format-wise. So what I did here for these, if you're copying or pasting in a formula, then you typically have to use a certain paste function. So let me kind of go back and see if I can explain it. So if we go here, we're going to copy this number. We're going to copy these. Copy. Now we come over here. We're going to paste this in here. So when you go to paste, you have these choices of what to do, right? So the first one you can see doesn't give us a good link, right? It doesn't provide us with what we want because we want a formula. We don't want, we want the value, not the formula. Here is, this one seems to work. This one doesn't, that one doesn't, right? So again, This is the one that we want to use right here, and it will plug it in. So when you copy and paste anything, you always have to make sure that the formatting is the formatting that you want to see. Again, when you're done, here we end up having our ratio. So in this case, I just utilized whatever the ratios were here. I plugged them in here. So this says that in 2020, the end of year stock price for this company should be $115. Should be 124 in 2021 and 133 in 2022. So it shows us or gives us some prediction of what prices should be moving forward for the company. Again, it's a pretty simple, straightforward kind of forecast, but it's kind of interesting to see what it might, how it might match up with the companies that we're actually analyzing in our courses. So again, short and sweet video. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.